Hey everybody, Ron Ipach here, and welcome to the Wednesday Hump Day Chat. As you can tell, there's nobody else here. It's just me. Look, I'm going out of town this afternoon, so there's no way that Jerry and I could do this live. So I'm pre-recording this as a solo chat. So it's just me chatting with you. So hopefully you're going to get some really good. Now, I know you're going to get some great information from this. And if you do, please do me a favor. Go down below, click the like button down below here. Show me a little love. Let me know that you like seeing these videos, and we're going to make sure that we get them to you as often as possible, almost every single Wednesday. And look, I'm even pre-recording this to make sure I get this video here to you on this Wednesday on a timely manner. Now, those of you that are on my email list, you may be getting it on a different day, but we always do this live inside of our Successful Shop Owner Facebook group every single Wednesday. So, without further ado, let's get rocking. So today's subject, I want to talk about the difference between why some people get success when they put the effort towards something and other people simply don't. And it's something that kind of drove me crazy for years and years and years before I kind of figured it out. So I want to kind of share this with you in hopes that it will help you. Because, look, we're all in the same situation together. We're on the same planet in the same time, part of time in the world, all the crazy stuff that's going on out there. Some may be in big cities, small cities, have big shops, small shops, or whatever. But some people always seem to have the Midas touch. No matter what they do, they get the success that they're looking for, okay? And you know people like that. It just drives you kind of crazy. It's like, how come every time this guy tries something, he gets success? And I do the exact same thing, and I'm busting my ass, and I'm not getting near that success. Why is that? So that's what I want to share with you today, because until I learn this little thing here, and this might even be painfully obvious to you when it's done, but until you look at things this way, you're going to constantly be struggling, okay? So what am I talking about? I call it my baking a success cake, I should say, okay? So what do I mean by that? Well, have you ever I was going to say bake a cake. Have you ever baked a cake in the past? Now, I have tried it once or twice in my life, but the kitchen is not the right place for me. I think I'm better suited in front of a camera than in front of a stove. But I've tried to bake a cake from scratch, okay? Not taking a box and just dumping it in there and putting eggs in there and tossing it in the oven. I'm talking about baking a cake from scratch. If it's done right, it could be the most amazing cake you'll ever have. If it's done wrong, it's going to be a pretty shitty cake, okay? And that's kind of what I want to talk about here today, okay? Because just like baking a cake has a very specific recipe to follow, success has the right recipe to follow itself, okay? If you follow your recipe to a T, you're going to get all the success in the world. You're going to get that cake, or let's take it for the auto repair industry, you're going to get that successful shop you're looking for. If you follow the success formula, the success recipe for taking a shop to the level of success you're looking for, if you follow that recipe to a T, you're always going to get the success you're looking for. But if you're like most people, and like I used to always be, and try to find a shortcut or figure things out on my own or create something from scratch, not knowing what the hell I was doing, you're never going to get the success you're looking for. You're always going to have that marginal or maybe even a total failure for all the efforts. Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients, okay? So I'm going to go back and forth here, have a little fun with this. It's going to be a cake, and it's going to be an auto repair shop, okay? So whenever I'm saying cake, think auto repair. Whenever I'm thinking auto repair, it's cake, all right? Because the two, for this purpose, are totally interchangeable. So let's talk about the ingredients that you need for your cake here, okay? First and foremost, you got to have some knowledge, okay? So if you walk into the kitchen, you have no idea what the hell to do, how are you going to make a cake, right? Okay, so you're going to have some basic knowledge to get this whole thing started. So when it comes to an auto repair business, what do you need? Well, let's start at the very beginning. your business won't exist unless you have customers, right? So you need the ability and the knowledge on how to get customers to the shop. Now, given the times we're in, you may be thinking, well, got that handled, like a 2-week waiting list or a 2-month waiting list. I'm talking about getting the right customers, the customers that you want to have in your shop time and time and time again, okay? And the ability to get customers at will when you need them, and the ability to kind of stem the tide a little bit and kind of push away some customers when you don't, okay? So that's knowledge when it comes to car count. Then you got to be able to sell them something. You got to know more than just the ins and outs. I mean, you got to have a sales system in place. So you got to do a good job selling the services. And then profits. You got to be able to make money from the customers you brought in the door and you sold services to. Because look, if you're not selling at a profitable price, you're not really selling. You're just giving stuff away, So you got to know how to do that. You have to have the knowledge in order to be able to do that. Then you got to have the right employees, because somebody's got to get the work done, right? Okay, so if you don't have the employees, it doesn't matter how many customers you have, how good you are at marketing, and how good your profitability is if you don't have somebody to do the work. So you got to have, part of your success is going to be in having the right employees. Now, then, as an owner, you got to have some leadership skills. You got to have the knowledge to be able to make everything work as a well-oiled machine. If everybody's off scattered doing their own thing in different ways, that's not the recipe for success, okay? So you got to be a good leader when it comes to doing that. And then, of course, you got to have the proper tools. I'm talking about not only the tools in the toolbox, I'm talking about the digital tools. You got to have the success tools of what it takes to run a business, a good shop management program and things like that. So all of those things are the ingredients that you need for a successful business. It's the ingredients, like you would have the eggs and the flour and the water and baking soda and all that for the cake. Okay, so you're with me? You see where the two correlate here. So now let's talk about, you've got everything scattered out on the table in front of you. Let's get back into the kitchen here. We got all the ingredients all over the place. We got the right things there. Now what the hell do you do? Okay, do you just throw everything in a bowl? No, there's a instruction manual that you need to follow. You've got to do step by step by step by step. So you got all the right ingredients. Now you have to combine them in the right order. Now, like I said before, I'm a disaster when it comes to making a cake in the kitchen, so I can't tell you why things need to go in the right order and how to properly mix those things together. That stuff needs to be written down, and as long as I follow the directions and do what they tell me to do, and I don't make shortcuts, okay? I don't say, well, I don't have any eggs, so I'm not going to put any eggs in there, okay? No, that's a missing ingredient that you're going to have a problem with, I suppose, okay? You can't make substitutions. Now, I know this one for a fact. I mean, it was years ago. I remember it called for baking powder, and I put in baking soda. Or maybe it was the other way around. I don't know. It had baking in the names, and they were both white powder, so it was good enough, right? Wrong. Okay, there's a big difference between those two when it comes to the final product. Okay, so when it comes to your shop, you can't make substitutions. And let's say you have really crappy employees, and you're doing a poor job in leading them, and expect to get success, right? You got to have good leadership. You have to have good employees. You have to have the proper tools in front. You got to put things together in the right order, okay? And by the way, this is probably a great time to toss in this little public service announcement, okay? This is the kind of stuff a coach helps you with, okay? So if you don't currently have a coach, or you've never worked with a coach, or maybe you worked with a coach in the past, this is the thing your coach should be helping you with. They should give you all the right knowledge and tools in order to have everything spread out on the table in front of you so you can make that cake, right? And they got to give you the right order to put things together. That's what they're there for. Okay, and if you're not getting that, find a different coach. And if you don't know how to do that, get a coach, okay? That's what we do here at Maverick Shop Owners, is we give you the tools, we give you the knowledge, and then we give you the recipe, and all you got to do is like a paint-by-number system, just follow the recipe, and you're going to get the results that you're looking for, okay? This brief little announcement. Now, look, if you don't want to get involved in a coaching program, we also have a program called The War Room, where you get a chance to talk with me and my partner Jerry, and you get a chance every single week to ask us questions and get some training on all these different things. It's a lower barrier to entry rather than being in a full-blown coaching program. But either way, we'd love to be able to help you. But get back to what we're talking about here. You got to have the right stuff, and you can't make this stuff up. If you haven't been in the kitchen or gone through all kinds of training on how to bake stuff, chances are you're not going to open up a cabinet and just start throwing stuff together and wind up with an amazing product. Some people can. Okay, but if you don't know what you're doing, somebody's got to give you the way, because experimenting or trying to live in the school of hard knocks is a very, very difficult way to try to run your business, okay? So now you've got all the ingredients, now you've got the recipe on how to put things together, but we're not even close to getting finished here, okay? Because if everybody had that, then every single person out there that had a recipe and had the ingredients would be making awesome cakes, but we know that's not right. Same with your business, okay? The next thing is you got to have some motivation. You got to be motivated in order to make that kick-ass cake. I know that sounds a little ridiculous, but let's think of it this way. Look, if you're not motivated to do anything, what good is having all the ingredients and all the recipe if you just don't have enough motivation and enough drive to actually put everything together and follow it all the way through to the end? Okay, you might get bored halfway through. You got all the tools, you got everything you need, but you get a little bored or you get a little frustrated and think, I don't want to do this anymore, and you don't follow it all the way to the end. Are you going to wind up with a cake if you only have half the ingredients put together? Of course not. So you got to want it. You got to really want to have that success, want to have that cake, okay? The next thing is you got to have some passion for what you're doing. I mean, let's face it. I don't know about you, but when my mom made me a sandwich, it tasted a hell of a lot better than when I made a sandwich for myself. You know what I'm talking about? There's that certain amount of love that she put into this thing, the love, the caring, something about it made it that much better. And if you don't love what you do, and if you're just going through the motions and you say, well, I'm going to push through, you're just not going to have those results that come from having the passion for what you're doing, okay? That's just the way things work. Grumpy old farts don't get the success they're looking for because they're grumpy old farts. They don't love what they do, okay? So, if you want to make a kick-ass cake, have some love for it, have some passion for it, really want to go through and do it, okay? Now, one final step, okay? We can't get too anxious, right? We put everything together. We got motivated. We had the drive. We got everything there. We're all excited about making a great cake. And we stick it in the oven. And it's supposed to be in the oven at 350 for 45 minutes. Shit, I don't know what it is, but play along here. I'm not a baker here. It's in the oven. And we did everything right. But there's something about the way we live our lives right now. I call it the microwave way of doing things, right? Have you ever warmed up a cup of coffee in the microwave and it took a minute and you're sitting there tapping your foot like, come on, it's taken forever, a minute to warm up this cup of coffee. See, we want things right now. When it comes to making a cake and getting the success you're looking for, you've got to give it the allotted time. Things don't happen overnight, and people wind up getting way too anxious, and they take that cake out of the oven before it raised up, or before it finished baking. They took it out of the oven and look at it as like, this ain't working, and they throw it away. That's what happens with so many people. They look at what they're doing and they get so anxious on there, even though they did everything right. And they pull it out of the oven and say, yeah, okay, this didn't work for me, and they threw it away. What I'm asking you is you've got to give it time. There's no such thing as an overnight success. My overnight success took about 15 years. Okay, there is no overnight success. Yes, you can get some success, incremental success fairly quickly, but ultimate success, what you're really looking for and what we're talking about here, has got to take some time. So that's really the difference between failing and succeeding. Okay, you got to have the right ingredients. You got to combine them the right way. You got to be motivated to do it and follow it through to the end. You got to have some sort of a passion for what you're doing, and you've got to give it some time. Then and only then are you going to get the success you're looking for. Okay, now I hope this helped. Okay, it's just like baking a cake. Maybe this is overly simplified, but I think it was important that you understand it's not that hard when you follow a plan. So if you don't have a plan, get a plan. If you've got the plan, follow the plan the right way and give it some time, and you're going to get the success you're looking for. I hope this helps. Oh, and by the way, one final time, if this helped you at all, go down, click the like button, share this video with whoever you can, because I love to see what you guys want to say, and I love seeing how many people are watching this video and getting some good value out of it. Thanks. See you next week. Take care, everybody.